In a fortified row house in West Philadelphia, a bomb dropped by Philadelphia police killed 11 M.O.V.E members, including 5 children, and burned down 65 other houses after a lengthy standoff between the two groups. M.O.V.E was a cult-like organization which eschewed technology, medicine, and Western clothing, where members lived communally, ate raw food, left garbage on their yards, and proselytized with a loudspeaker, frustrating the residents of Osage Avenue. The M.O.V.E bombing was a pivotal moment in the mayoral reign of Wilson Goode and was the first time a U.S. city bombed itself. The bomb dropped on the M.O.V.E row house with only marginal consequences to the city government because of previous encounters with M.O.V.E and antipathy in the public towards the M.O.V.E organization, resulting in the group falling into obscurity. Vincent Lee Hart founded the American Christian Movement for Life, later shortened to M.O.V.E, in 1972 in West Philadelphia and changed his name to John Africa. M.O.V.E was primarily a black organization, although white people could join as well. As an anti-system, anti-technology group, its members ate only a diet of raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, and eggs, used no technology, medicine, or Western clothing, and disposed their garbage in the backyard, and used outhouses instead of conventional toilets. The children of M.O.V.E, who were not allowed to attend school, were illiterate, and had never even cooked food or watched television. These were the first pure members of M.O.V.E. They were raised to never be exposed to the corrupting influences of social and political institutions. Members protested outside of zoos or pet stores, often leading to arrests, though the police did not believe M.O.V.E was even potentially violent during the early 1970s. The other residents of Powelton Village did not have a great opinion of M.O.V.E, which lived communally in 3 townhouses in the neighborhood. Powelton Village, located near Drexel University and the University of Pennsylvania, was a diverse and tolerant community. In 1976, neighbors began complaining about children playing in the yard without diapers and in insanitary conditions. Due to Powelton residents' complaints, the police set up 24-hour surveillance on the M.O.V.E townhouses. The next year, M.O.V.E members began to sit out on the porch holding rifles, wearing bits, and using loudspeakers to lecture their neighbors. M.O.V.E already held a reputation as a radical black organization, much like the Black Panthers, because of M.O.V.'s emergence during the Black Power era. Many in Philadelphia believed that the public display of weapons to be the start of the organization becoming more militant. Tensions between the city and M.O.V.E began to rise as neighbors in Powelton continued complaining about M.O.V.'s actions, and as the police department's surveillance of M.O.V.E began to infuriate them. In the year between 1977 and 1978, M.O.V.E left bomb timing devices, though no explosives, in several hotels across the nation as well as in London. These devices were left with threatening letters stating that M.O.V.E would strike for real unless Philadelphia stopped its harassment. The organization had begun a feud with the then Mayor Frank Rizzo, who had previously served as Philadelphia's police commissioner and ran for mayor on a law and order campaign. M.O.V.'s residency in Powelton Village came to a head in 1978 after the May 5th agreement between M.O.V.E and the city disintegrated. The city and M.O.V.E agreed that the city would end the blockade, and within 90 days M.O.V.E members would relocate to residence outside the city. M.O.V.E saw the city as at the heart of the issue, and they stayed past the 90-day limit. While several organizations active in Powelton Village at the time supported negotiation with M.O.V.E, M.O.V.E and the police engaged in a protracted firefight, resulting in the death of one policeman, Officer James Ram, and the sentencing of 9 M.O.V.E members to jail for the officer's death. After being forced out of Powelton Village, M.O.V.E took up residence in a townhouse on Osage Avenue in Cobbs Creek, West Philadelphia. At first, M.O.V.E and the residents of Osage coexisted peacefully. In time, though, tensions began to grow as lifestyle differences emerged and the neighbors began complaining. M.O.V.E left their garbage outside, collected animals, and fed them food. They would take the neighbors' pets and remove their flea collars, and they built pigeon coops. Most distressing to Osage Avenue residents was the M.O.V.E children appeared to be malnourished and rummaged through their trash looking for food. The neighbors were told Wilson Goode would help them if they would just wait until after he had become mayor. But in late 1983, after the election, M.O.V.E began to use bullhorns and loudspeakers to harass their neighbors. M.O.V.E believed Mayor Goode had the ability to release the jailed M.O.V.E 9 members, and they knew if they began to harass residents of Osage Avenue, the city would have to pay attention to them. After he won the election, despite M.O.V.E holding the block hostage to obtain the release of fellow members, Goode used a policy of avoidance, appeasement, and non-confrontation towards M.O.V.E, attempting to avoid conflict in any way possible. City operating departments, health, water, human services, streets were barred by city policy from carrying out their responsibilities at the M.O.V.E row house. City officials believed M.O.V.E would stop its harassment once they realized the city was ignoring them and would either change their belligerent behavior or leave the city. This policy of non-confrontation and avoidance proved ineffective, and in 1984 the Philadelphia police began to plan a course of action against M.O.V.E, one of the first signs of what was to come. Mayor Goode told the police he needed a plan of action against M.O.V.E in the spring of 1985. He wanted to explore the possibilities of arresting some M.O.V.E members and obtaining a court order to hold the children. M.O.V.E began fortifying their row house in earnest in the fall of 1984 and the winter of 1985, building a bunker made of railroad ties, logs, and steel plates on the top of their house, and they used similar material to fortify the walls. In April 1985, they announced with bullhorns their intentions to kill the mayor or any police officer who approached the fortified M.O.V.E house. Neighbors claimed they had seen men with rifles on the roof and in the bunker of the house, and they held a press conference where they threatened to take matters into their own hands. On the morning of May 13, 1985, the police attempted to serve warrants for the arrest of 4 M.O.V.E members. These warrants were for misdemeanor charges. Mayor Goode also required that any officers involved in the 1978 shooting not be involved in the operation on Osage. But despite this, several of those officers were present in the assault force. At 5:30 in the morning outside the M.O.V.E row house, police used a bullhorn to announce the names of the members to be arrested for illegal possession of explosives and terroristic threats. M.O.V.E refused. Police insertion teams then entered the houses on either side of the row house. In response, M.O.V.E shot at the police force from inside of the house. Over the next hour and a half, the Philadelphia police fired over 10,000 rounds of ammunition on the row house and used explosives to blow holes in the walls. By 10:40, the front of the house was destroyed, but the fortifications M.O.V.E had installed in the winter had held, preventing the police from seizing the house. When it became clear their tactics had failed, Mayor Goode, during a televised press conference, announced he would take the house by any means necessary. After the press conference, the police began to plan another way to force out the 11 people in the house, including the use of explosives. They began assembling an explosive entry device around 4:30 p.m., and around 15 minutes later, Mayor Good approved the use of the entry device. Then, at 5:27 p.m., the police dropped an explosive package from a helicopter onto the bunker of the M.O.V.E house. When the bomb exploded, it did not remove the bunker. Rather, it ignited a gasoline tank. Instead of trying to contain the resulting blaze, the police and fire commissioners decided to let the bunker burn. It was not until 6:32 p.m. that the fire department turned on its hoses, and it took until 9:30 p.m. for them to take more active steps to contain the fire. The fire raged on until 11:41 p.m., engulfing 61 homes, damaging 110 houses, killing John Africa and the 10 other occupants of the M.O.V.E house, 5 of them children, and leaving 250 men, women, and children homeless. The bombing of the M.O.V.E row house should have been a pivotal event in the history of Philadelphia, showing the incompetence of city officials in an explosive finale. Yet, after the bombing, Mayor Good and the Philadelphia Police Department received an outcry of support from around the country. The Los Angeles police chief at the time, Daryl Gates, defended the use of an explosive device, declaring it a sound tactic. Gates also stated Mayor Good has provided some of the finest leadership he had ever seen from any politician, and that he hoped Mayor Good ran for national office. Michael Nutter, then an assistant to a city councilman, said M.O.V.E is a group of people whose philosophy is based on conflict and confrontation. Roy Innis, who was the chairman of the Congress of Racial Equality Court, called Mayor Good's handling of the crisis heroic. Despite those speaking in favor of the mayor and the Philadelphia Police Department, not all law enforcement officers were complimentary of Philadelphia's handling of the M.O.V.E crisis. The director of the American Federation of Police, Gerald Arenberg, believed they broke every rule in the book when it came to their handling of the M.O.V.E incident and the bombing. James Fife, a police lieutenant in New York City, described it by saying, "They burned down the village to save the village," before continuing, adding that the actions taken by the Philadelphia Police Department were really unheard of. According to Fife and Orenberg, many police departments have small armored tanks that can be used to batter doors down without endangering the lives of the officers, and Orenberg stated the Philadelphia police just weren't using all the equipment available to any modern police department. The M.O.V.E bombing captured the attention of the world, and as many law enforcement agencies weighed in on the actions of the Philadelphia police, so too did the media, both national and international. The media took a largely critical view of the M.O.V.E incident and Mayor Good. Many newspapers around the world weren't sympathetic to the siege of the M.O.V.E row house and called Philadelphia a war zone. Front pages of many newspapers showed pictures of smoldering row houses in West Philadelphia. The fact that no one from the city administration ever faced any consequences resulting from their part in burning down 61 houses and killing 11 people, and that there has been no major lasting effect on the city of Philadelphia as a result of the M.O.V.E bombing, is a disgrace and a disservice to those whose homes burned in the blaze and those who perished as a result of the city's actions.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, like and share this video with family and friends.